Hi, Year 5. So today's lesson is our arithmetic session. As you know, you either do the Clic test or you do the Schofield and Sims. So this is for the people that will be practicing the Schofield and Sims, and it's what I want to do today is just have a look through some of the questions that I know that you tend to find trickier. Last week we looked at question number 1, and you did actually really well with that. So the types of questions, question 1 and question 6 and 7, are all quite similar. The key thing for those obviously is to make sure you've got your place value correct. Question 8 is more of a simple one. Again, think about your place value, but you're generally quite good at that. So we're going to have a look at some of the others. So you might want to, when you find a section that you find trickier, you might want to just note down the time of the video, and you can go back and rewind it if you want to. So let's have a little look then at today's. So what I've done is I've just pulled the question from your Clic test. Now, I'm not actually going to go over that one because I want you obviously to be able to do that one in your Clic test in a minute. So I've taken some that are similar, and we're going to talk through those. So the key to this type of question is that you want to actually start with the number on the furthest right. So in this instance, we've got an 8 in the 10ths column. So that's the digit that we need to start with. If you start with a 5, you will get it wrong. Okay, so if we look at this here, you can see that it's 7.6 plus 2.4. Now, I could do 7 plus 2 and then figure out how many more. But actually, the best thing to do, like I say, is start on this side. So I know that 6 plus 4 equals 10, or doesn't equal 10 actually, it equals 1. So 6 plus 4 equals 1, but this is actually obviously 0.6, 0.6 plus 0.4, which would make 1, which means that we need to add another 1 into this column. So if you look at this here, we've actually only got 7 add 2, which you know only makes 9, but the tenths add up to an extra 1, which is why it's really important that you add these first. So you're going to use that knowledge to help you to fill in this blank. So basically you need to, and I'm not going to show you with this one because like I say, I want you to actually have a go at that one yourself. So I'm going to just show you, have a look at this one here. And we want to make 10, we want to make 1.6 plus something equals 10. So I need to start off by saying, right, what does my decimal point, my tenths number need to be? What's my number after the decimal point need to be? So I'm always thinking number bonds. Okay, so I've got 1.6. So what's going to go with the 0.6 to make it up to another ones number? So you should have 0.4 to add to that, makes this number now 2. And then we say how many more to make 10. So we'd need another 8. So it'd be 8.4, this one here. Okay, so you can have a go. I'll tell you, well, all of the questions that we're going over, we have created some resources for you to have a practice. So you've got these resources, and sometimes you've got some worded problems as well. So you can have a look at this and think about what we do, and then you can go away and have a practice. And if you want to do that before you do the Clic test, that might make sense, or you can do the Clic test first, see which ones you struggled with, and then go over the extra problems. So it's up to you. So you can do this with making a number up to 1, in fact, 10, 100, 1,000, but it's all about looking at this, the number furthest on the right. Okay, next question, question 3 we're going to look at here. Just a really quick recap. When we're multiplying by 10, we are going to move our numbers to the left, and multiplying by 10, we will move our digits 1 place only, okay, because there's 1 0. So dividing by 10, because your second question here is divided by 10, you are going to do the same, but you move your digits to the right. So place value grids, guys. I know lots of you are always really tempted to do it as 826 multiplied by 10 and doing a line underneath and then trying to multiply. That's not how we do it. We want to do it with our place value grid. So again, some more for you to have a little practice with there. Okay, question 4, using known facts to multiply. So I've put some worded problems here for you to have a think about. We have talked this through before, And I talked this through last week, but just to quickly recap, so for those of you who are still finding it a bit tricky. So if I had to do 4 times 0.6, what I'd actually do in my head is I would do 4 times 6, and using my times tables knowledge, I know it's 24. Now what I've done is I've obviously made 0.6 10 times bigger to get this answer. So all I have to do is, when I go back to that original question, it was 0.6, 10 times smaller. I've got to make my answer 10 times smaller. Okay, so that's the key to that one. So there are some worded problems for you to have a go at on that one. Right, next question, question 5. Now this tends to be one that lots of people struggle with. And it is quite tricky, so I'll probably spend a bit longer talking this through with you. So finding multiples. So the question that you've got in your Clic test is, Mully is hiding behind the biggest multiple of 7 without going past 508. So let's just quickly look at what we've got to do. Okay, now I'm not going to go over that one again. This is the one I'm going to look at. So Mully's hiding behind the biggest multiple of 2 without going past 153. Okay, so this is the key thing that you have to do. You need to think about your times tables knowledge first. Now, we're going back and thinking about actually what we did here, using our known facts to multiply. So if I know that 4 times 6 is 24, I also know that 4 times 60 is 240. So I'm going to use that knowledge to actually help me with this one here. If I go through all of my times tables, 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, and so on, it's going to take me a really, really long time to get to anywhere near this number 153. So I'm going to make those chunks bigger by multiplying those by 10. So for instance here, look, 2 times 10 is 20, 2 times 20 is 40, 2 times all the way up to, and then I get to 2 multiplied by 70 is 140. Now if I go any further than that, 2 multiplied by 80, I'll get 160, which is past 153. That's too many. So I'm going to pause there at that one, but when I take that away from my original number, my number was 153. If I take that chunk of 140 away, look, I'm left with 13. So I'm looking at multiples of 2. So I have to say, right, can I get any more lots of 2 out of that number 13? And yes, of course I can, because 2 times 6 is 12. So I've put them in red here just to help you look. 2 times 70 is 140. 2 times 6 is 12, and if I add those two together, I get 152. So I've chunked my numbers to make it easier. Chunk those numbers out and think about big lots first. So, right, lots of 10. How many lots of 10? So 20, 30, 40 lots, and so on. So we've actually got 70 lots of 2, which is 140, and 6 lots of 2, which is 12. So when we put those two together, we get 152. And the question does say he's hiding behind the biggest multiple of 2 without going past. Doesn't want to know what the factor is, it wants to know the multiple. That means what is the number that is as close to 153 as possible. So in this one, it's 152. I know that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but I'm hoping that that will have made a little bit more sense to you. So big chunks first, and then look and go, can I take any more lots away? So I've put some practice questions here for you that you can have a go at, but ask us if you need any help with those. Okay. Right, 2 more to go then. So question 9, this is a division question. This is one that we do often struggle with, but actually these, well, the one that I'm going to show you is a bit simpler, but you will find that you've just got to follow the same method to work this one out, okay? So I'm going to start off by saying, how many 8s are there in 6? Well, that doesn't go, so I need to then do how many 8s are there in 64. Those of you who know your tables will know there's 8. So let me just go back to that beginning. But 8 into 6, it doesn't go. Oh, that's no good. So I have to put my 0 there. Sorry, I know it's awful. I can't write with this pen. So then I say, how many 8s into 64? I know that there's 8. And so 8 times 8 is 64. So I write the answer there. So this is 8 times 8. That's my number that goes there, and you're going to use a ruler obviously to draw your lines. 64 take away 64 actually leaves us with 0. But you won't always get that. Sometimes you'll have a remainder, you often will. So whatever the remainder is, say I have to take away 56, although that wouldn't work because that would be a multiple, leave me with 8. But say I had to take away 53 or whatever, then I'd be left with an answer here. Okay, so I'd have a digit here that isn't 0. Then I'm going to bring my 7 down, and I say, how many 8s go into 7? Well, we know that they don't. So that means that I've got a remainder of 7. Okay, I can't take 8 away from 7. I haven't got enough. So my answer to this one would be 8, remainder 7. Okay, so follow the same method. That's all you need to do. Right, okay, so these are your questions. I've given you some that are simple calculations and then some that are worded problems. So if you find those trickier, I recommend you have a go at both the calculations and the worded problems, just to really get your brain around those. And then the final one, 83 multiplied by 56. I know that a couple of people struggled with that last time. So that's your Clic question. We're going to have a go at this one, 89 multiplied by 55. I'm going quickly now because I'm aware that it's quite a long video. So simply the easiest thing to do, I'm actually going to cover that one up. I know it isn't covered at the moment. So let's do that. Come on. Up there. Right, I'm going to cover that up. So I'm going to imagine all I'm doing is 89 times 5. So I'm going to start here. This is the digit I always start with. So I do 5 times 9. 5 times 9 is 45. So the 4 goes underneath and the 5 goes here. Okay, really important. You always write your 4 first, then your 5, because it's 45. 4 goes underneath in the tens column and the 5 goes in the ones column. Right, 5 times 8 is 40 plus my 4, don't forget your 4, makes 44. Right, now I want you all to shout at the screen and tell me what I need to do here. Ready? Yes! Ah, well done. I need to have a 0. I've got to remember that 0, because actually what I'm doing now, I'm going to get rid of that box now. Now I'm doing the 5, but it's not 5, it's 50 because it's in the tens column. Okay, so this is my tens column, this is my ones column. So I have to move it over. Now, this is quite big because I'm struggling to draw, but you need to keep your numbers quite small so that you don't take up the whole box. Okay, so 5 times 9, I've just done that one, 45. Okay, and I'm going to draw it in there to the side. And then 5 times 8, again, like I said, I've just done it because I did the number in the ones column. I'm just doing it in the tens column. So it's 40 plus my 4 is 44. Okay, so I've got the number 445 plus 4,450. Sorry about my wobbly lines. You are not going to have wobbly lines because you're going to use a ruler. And then I just simply add them. 5 add 0 is 5. 4 add 5 is 9. 4 add 4 is 8. And 4, nothing there to add to it, is 4. So 4,895. So you've got some simple questions to have a go at there, just some simple calculations to practice those. Right, I'm going to stop talking now. I want you to go and do either your Clic test if you haven't done it, or have a go at the practice questions of the ones that you found trickier. Okay? Good luck, guys.